All right. Shalom Yasharala. Before we get started, we're going to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, the teachers as well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Back to the video, another lesson. And you already saw the title of the video, but it's the title of this one's going to be called Freely Have Ye, Salakia, Freely Ye Have Received, Freely Give. All right. And simple title, nothing, too I may change it, but freely ye have received, freely give. And what does that mean? We got this truth for free. All right. When you come to this ministry, all right, you're gonna have some, camps that are doing this thing for money. They're not doing this sincerely to wake up the elect of, all right, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay. But, that's actually, that's, you're not supposed to, make merchandise of people, selling them breakdowns or selling Hebrew names, you got guys that do that, they're selling t-shirts, fringes, and, dresses and stuff like that. Okay. If somebody wants a Hebrew name, you don't charge them for it. If somebody asks for a breakdown, you don't charge for breakdowns. Okay. This truth wasn't when the Lord was on the scene. He didn't charge for healing people. Y'all gonna need 5 shekels if you want to see again. The Lord didn't do that. Y'all gonna need 10 shekels for for your daughter to be raised from the dead. Show me in the Bible where the Lord Yahweh Shai did that. Okay, and he didn't. So freely ye have received, freely give. We got this truth for free. Now the Lord Yahweh Shai did pay a price, but he paid his life for us to get this word. He didn't, have to pay no money to the Most High. Like, Lord, I gave you, 50 shekels for, no. The Lord, he sacrificed himself, okay? Went up on that cross and died for the nation of Israel, starting with the elect, to get this truth in this word, man. But you got guys who come in, all right, and they changed everything around. They selling, like I said, breakdowns, Hebrew names, prayers, but that's wicked. That's going off. All right, we can first start with that Matthew. All right. This is Matthew 10, outside of verse 5. It says, These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as ye go, preach, saying, The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely ye have received, freely give. You see, so that the disciples got this word for free. Same way with us. We got this truth, this word for free. We didn't have to pay no money. All right. Well now you got new people who come in. They probably going to pay some dollars. Just to get a breakdown. You gotta hit the Cash App, the Apple Pay. You gotta scan the QR code. Just to know what the mark of the beast is, which they probably won't break down wrong anyway. just to get a breakdown on who Esau is. But you can go on you type in GMS, all right, Esau Edom. You'll get 50 videos on it. Okay, and that's another thing. When I see, hear stories, but I see it as well. When the apostles, when they came on YouTube in 2007, they just uploaded, videos, part 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way like to part 50, and none of those videos are monetized. All right, you didn't have to pay $5 to get a breakdown. You don't got to do that. Now over there, IUIC and Sakari and maybe other camps, you got to pay a little bit of money to, super chat. You got the super chat. We don't got that over here at Great Millstone and our truly affiliates. We don't do that. We preach the word. We do what we're told, right? Let's get that. Let's get Micah. 3 and 11, and it says the heads thereof judge for reward. Who are the heads? Leaders. When you're a head, you're a leader, right? The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests therefore teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord, whose name is Yahweh, and say, is not the Lord among us? None evil can come upon us. So they think that just because the Lord isn't moving swiftly upon them, you know, that he's not judging them right there on the spot, that they think that they're not, you know, they're going to get away with it. I mean, that's not true. Right? The Lord is long suffering. Let's read this in NLT. It says, you rulers make decisions based on bribes. You priests teach God's laws only for a price. And who does that today? All right? Who teaches God's laws only for a price? You know, you gotta pay $50 to get a full breakdown on Revelation 13 or Daniel 7. Okay, you prophets won't prophesy unless you are paid. Yet all of you claim to depend on the Lord. No harm can come to us, you say, for the Lord is here among us. You see that? So you think the Lord is with you, but he's not. You know, he's getting ready to judge you swiftly. And as you saw, it was a video. I didn't really watch it because I don't really want to get all into it. But I do. Eleazar is rumored that he made. I want to say, I don't want to put, you know, I believe is it 30,000, or it probably is more. It's probably more than that. But he made a lot of money off of you know, being in this ministry, man. You know, when in this ministry, you know, brother's not saying to be downright poor and broke, no, but you're not supposed to be rich. You're supposed to get our daily bread. Let me see if I can find that. Give me poverty nor riches. See if I can get that. Poverty. Yeah, Isaiah. I got Isaiah on the brain. Proverbs 30 and in verse 8, okay, it says, this is remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. It says, lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my power in vain. Okay? So, we ask for give us neither poverty nor riches. We don't want to be dirt poor, but we don't want to be super rich because money can change you, you know? And you see it, you know, being out in the world before, you know, we came to the truth. You saw, you know, how money changed the people you were around or the, you know, people you saw. You know, they became proud, they became arrogant, you know, they didn't have that humble trait about them. They may have a lot of money, but, and you know, they probably change us too. We got a lot of money, you know. You get, you know, $20,000, you gonna start acting different. People claim they're gonna, you know, still remain a law-abiding citizen, or they're gonna do this and that. No, you're not. No, you're not. $1 million at your account right now. You gonna quit your job. You know, you're gonna go on trips. You're gonna buy this big house. You know, because you never had that much money ever in your life, let alone $1 million. You know, you can keep it small. 50,000, 100,000, hit your account right now. People gonna do it big. They're gonna change in a second. People are fickle. You know, so we want stuff that's convenient for us. You know, we got food, we got a house, you know, to sleep. We got a bed to sleep in. You know, we got clothes on our back. You know, we good. We don't know all that. Okay, so I'm gonna read Micah again. This is the book of Micah, chapter 3 and 11, and it says, the heads thereof judge for reward, right? And the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord Yahweh and say, is not the Lord among us? None evil can come upon us. You see, that's what you see today. All right, they're teaching for hire, they judge for reward, and they divine for money. You won't get no prophecy unless you paying you giving some money up. Okay, let's get all right, we can go to First Timothy 6 and 10. And I really want to start at I'm start at 6. It says, but godliness with contentment is great gain. I can't start right there. I'm gonna start at 5. It says perverse disputings. No. I don't want to start at 1. I'm gonna just start at 7. 1 Timothy 6 and 7. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. Right, we got food, you got clothes, all right, you got a nice bed to sleep in. Okay, the Lord bless you with the things that you need. If the Lord will give you more money, he'll bless you with more money. It says, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money, money is not the rule of all evil. The love of money, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. And you see that, all right. You got people who don't teach the true name, right? They don't teach that Yahweh doesn't need to be worshipped. They don't teach the mark of the beast, right? They just completely throwing off the doctrine, for money. Get this word coveted, right? I'll play it.
Strong's G 3713. Arrego.
Arrego. It says to stretch oneself out in order to touch or grab something. No, right here. Okay, to give oneself up to the love of money. Okay, desire, right? It says covet after desire. When you have desire for something, you want it. You desire it. You gotta have it, right? Desire. A strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. You desiring to have that woman. You desire to have, some, that nice looking burger you want, right? So it says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they desired after it, they have erred from the faith. They've erred from the faith, right? I'll look that up if we can. Erred. They give us, to cause to go astray, to lead away from the truth, to error. Woo! Let's read that again. All right, this is error, to lead away from the truth to error. So you went away from the truth. You stopped teaching the true names. You stopped teaching the mark of the beast, which they never taught in the first place. You start teaching the hell doctrine, which is no such place as hell. All right. You don't believe in reincarnation, which that's, something totally different. Okay. But they start, perverting the doctrine, man. Saying that Yahweh don't need to be worshipped. Paul's writings aren't authoritative. Okay. It says they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. You see that? We got to read this in the NLT version. Verse 7, it says, after all, we brought nothing. I'll read verse 6. It says, yet true godliness with contentment is itself great wealth. After all, we brought nothing with us when we came into the world. And we can't take nothing, Salakia. And we can't take anything with us when we leave it. Right, we ain't taking nothing, when you die, you don't take nothing with you. It says, so if we have enough food and clothing, let us be content. All right, but people who long to be rich fall into temptation and are trapped by many foolish and harmful desires that plunge them into ruin and destruction. All right, there's nothing wrong with getting, money. Do you want to sustain yourself? You want to take care of your family? There's nothing wrong with that. But when you start coveting after because this money is gonna be done away with soon anyway. That paper dollar is crashing. The economy's about to crash, and they're about to bring in a new system, the new world order, right? It says, for the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. You do anything for it. People in the world do anything for it, let alone if people in the world gonna do anything for money, you gotta know people in the truth gonna do the same thing. They're gonna pervert the doctrine. They're gonna, say wicked things, talk bad about brothers or about a different camp. People say GMS talk bad about other camps. No, we just rebuke. Okay. So it says, for the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. And some people, craving money, have wandered from the true faith, and pierced themselves with many sorrows. See that? Let's now get Salakia, hold on. Let's get 2 Peter 3:3. Let's read that. And it says 3:3. 2:3. I'm sorry. Yeah, 2:3. I'm gonna start at verse 1, and I'm gonna jump down to 14. I'm gonna jump down to 10. It says, but there were also, it says, but there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies. I always look this word up. All right. Which basically is false teachings, right? Damnable. Apolia is the word. Destruction, utter destruction. All right, destroying, Salakia. It says of perishing, ruin, destruction, of money. All right. It says destruction, perdition, perish, pernicious ways, waste. All right. Physical, spiritual, or eternal. So it's a destroying. All right. Heresies mean teaching. Right. Of a body of men following their own tenets, sect or party. Okay. So damnable heresies, false teachings. That's all it really is. It says, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways. You got many people still following this dude, Gorilla Hebrew, after all the things that's been brought out on him, the things he was doing, the wicked things he was doing, which I'm not gonna get into. All right, but you still got people who are still cheering for him, showing you that these people don't know what they're a part of. They just know that they're Israelites, and that's it. By reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of, and through covetousness shall they with vain words make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. See? See what covetousness is.
Strong's G 4124. Pleonaxia.
Pleonaxia. All right, and you see a greedy desire to have more, covetousness, avarice. Hope I said that right. All right, extreme greed for wealth or material gain. Okay, of avarice, i.e., by implication, fraudulency, extortion. Okay, covetousness practices greediness. They're greedy. Let's jump down to verse 10. It says, I'll read verse 9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanness, and despise government. Presumptuous are they, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignities. Whereas angels, which are greater in power and might, bring not railing accusation against them before the Lord. But these are natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed. I looked this up. I looked up brute. Was it brute or I think it is. Yeah, brute. It says destitute of reason, contrary to reason, absurd. All right, they're irrational, brute, unreasonable. Okay, the word irrational means not logical or reasonable. Okay, so they don't think logically. They don't use wisdom in their everyday life, and we're supposed to apply wisdom in our everyday lives. All right, to the best of our ability. It says, I read again, but these are natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed. Speak evil of the things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption, and shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as they that count it pleasure to riot in the daytime. Spots they are, and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings, while they feast with you, having eyes full of adultery. Okay, you still got a lot of adultery going on, and people, they know they're Israelites. IUIC just had that recently, and that cannot cease from sin, beguiling unstable souls. In heart, they have exercised with covetous practices, cursed children, covetous practices. Okay, I think it's the same thing. Let me see. Yeah, plexonia. All right, greater desire to have more. All right, covetous practices, cursed children, which have forsaken the right way and are gone astray, following the way of Balaam, the son of Basor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness, but was rebuked for his iniquity. The dumbass speaking, the donkey, with man's voice, forbade the madness of the prophet. You see, so these guys they do this for greedy of gain. You know, that's what they're greedy of gain. You know, for vainglory. All right, these are natural brute beasts. Okay, now can they repent? Yeah, sure they can. You know, they can repent, but time's running out. Okay, let's read this in the NLT version. Outside of verse 10, it says 9. It says, "So you see, the Lord knows how to rescue godly people from their trials, even while keeping the wicked under punishment until the day of final judgment. He is especially hard on those who follow their own twisted sexual desire, and who despise that own twisted sexual desire, Elazar, and who despise authority." Okay, these guys despise authority. Not just Elazar, but what's his name? Deacon Hakah. Okay, they didn't want. I believe they were a part of Great Millstone, or Elazar was, but you know they despise authority. They didn't want to do their own thing. These are children left to themselves. All right, it says these people are proud and arrogant, daring even to scoff at supernatural beings, without so much as trembling. But the angels, who are far greater in power and strength, do not dare to bring from the Lord a charge of blasphemy against those supernatural beings. These false teachers are like unthinking animals, creatures of instinct, born to be caught and destroyed. They scoff at things they do not understand, and like animals, they will be destroyed. Their destruction is their reward for the harm they have done. They love to indulge in evil pleasures in broad daylight. They are a disgrace and a stain among you. They delight in deception, even as they eat with you in your fellowship meals. They commit adultery with their eyes, and their desire for sin is never satisfied. They lure unstable people into sin, and they are well trained in greed. See that? And they are well trained in greed. It says they live under God's curse. You see that? So these people are doing a whole bunch of wickedness, man, and the Lord's about to bring it all out. You know? Let's get this last one, which was 2 Timothy 3. All right, let's read it. I'll start at 1. It says, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves," and you see that. Okay? They trying to boast, they trying to up themselves as some type of elder, or, you know, what they call them? Apostles too, but give themselves self titles, the general and captain, which you had captains, but you got general and soldier this and soldier that. It says, "Men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, all right, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away." You see that? And these guys get into all type of debates, and they doing that, for money. The debates are for money. Their teaching is for money. Like we read in Micah 3:11, they teach for hire, they judge for reward, okay, and they prophesy for money. These guys are not sincere, man. But the true sincere brothers and sisters, well, they're you got sincere among them. You got the elect among them. Okay, but they gotta come out of that. Okay? And the Lord's gonna bring them out of it soon enough. So freely ye have received and freely give. And this goes for us too. We can't turn this thing into a thing of making some money out of it. You want to make money, do that on your own. Don't tie the ministry to you, getting money. You know, now brothers and sisters do send tithes. You know, but that's between you and whoever listen to. You know, whether it's the Dallas camp or New York, whoever, Los Angeles. That's between you and them. How y'all want to work that out? But we don't beg for for brothers and sisters to send us money. We work. We got regular jobs. These guys, I don't think they have 9 to 5s. You know, because they got so much money and so much free time they can travel. That's how IOIC and them are traveling, because of that money, that super chat money. You know, but at the end of the day, the Lord's gonna bring it all down. You know, so Lord willing, something was edifying to you brothers and you sisters out there. We gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, the teaching and Ruel. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Lord's will use edified. Till next video, I'm going to say, Shalom.